It started with a detour and ended with something that still follows me every time I close my eyes. It was the week of Thanksgiving, November 2023. I was driving alone from Newark, New Jersey to Pittsburgh for a work conference. The GPS suggested a shorter route, Route 59, cutting straight through northern Pennsylvania. I took it without thinking twice. That's where everything went wrong. The night was pitch black. No streetlights, no houses, not even another car for miles. Just a narrow stretch of cracked asphalt surrounded by endless woods. The kind of silence that presses against your ears until you start hearing things that aren't really there. My dashboard clock said 11:07 p.m. I'd been driving for nearly 6 hours, exhausted, my eyes burning. The only sound was the soft hum of the tires and the faint static from my car's radio. It was tuned to WQRT 96.3 FM, some local station playing old country songs. Then the signal broke. The music faded into a harsh, static hiss. And underneath that static, I heard something else. A slow, steady sound, like someone breathing. I froze. It was faint, but it was there. Inhale, exhale, coming from the back seat. My stomach turned cold. I glanced in the rearview mirror. Nothing, just shadows. But that breathing sound, it didn't stop. I pulled over, my tires crunching on the gravel shoulder. And that's when I saw it, a small, half-lit gas station up ahead. A faded sign flickered in the dark. Hollow lights, gas, and repair. Half the bulbs were dead, so from a distance it read more like HLLW lights. A single overhead lamp buzzed near the entrance, throwing a sickly yellow glow over 2 ancient gas pumps. Next to them stood an old Coca-Cola vending machine, rusted and half covered in grime. I stepped out of the car. The air was freezing, that heavy, early winter kind of cold that seeps into your bones. Somewhere far away, I could hear a coyote howling. The gas station looked abandoned. The windows were dusty, and the door hung crooked on its hinges. But the light inside, that single, flickering fluorescent light, was still on. "Hello?" I called out, my voice echoing across the empty lot. No answer. I walked closer. The crunch of my boots on the gravel sounded unnaturally loud. When I reached the door, I saw a handwritten sign taped to the glass. "Back in 10 minutes, Sam." I hesitated. 10 minutes. Maybe the owner had gone out to fix something. I decided to wait. I turned back toward my car and froze. My driver's side door was wide open. I knew I had closed it. The wind howled softly through the trees. The road behind me stretched into endless darkness. And just for a second, I thought I saw someone standing in the shadows beyond the car. Tall, still, watching. But when I blinked, the figure was gone. My heart started pounding. I grabbed my phone to call someone, but of course, no signal. Just no service flashing at the top of the screen. That's when the gas station's lights flickered again. Once, twice, then went completely dark. Only the old neon sign outside kept blinking, casting ghostly flashes of red and white across the lot. And then, the radio in my car turned itself on. A voice came through the static. Not music this time, just a low whisper. "Don't look behind you." I didn't move. For a full 5 seconds, I just stood there, every muscle locked. Then slowly, I turned around. There was no one there. Just the open road, the endless trees, and my car headlights cutting through the mist. But when I turned back toward the gas station, the door was open, and the handwritten sign was gone. Something inside was moving. I could see the faint outline of a person standing just beyond the doorway. Too still, too silent. I should have driven away. I know that now. But curiosity, or maybe stupidity, got the better of me. I stepped closer, one slow step at a time, until I could hear it again. That breathing. Not from inside the building, from right behind me. The sound of breathing was so close, I could almost feel it against the back of my neck. Slow, wet, uneven. I spun around. Nothing. Just the road and my car, headlights still cutting through the fog. The world was completely silent again. Even the wind had stopped. The only thing I could hear now was the faint hum of that dying neon sign. I took a deep breath and looked toward the open gas station door. A single flicker of light came from inside, pulsing like a heartbeat. Every instinct told me to leave, but I couldn't. Something about that place, it felt like it was waiting for me. I stepped inside. The door creaked loudly, echoing through the small shop. The air smelled like dust, oil, and something else. Something rotten, like old meat. Shelves lined with faded snacks, expired drinks, and tools covered in grime. A dusty open sign blinked in the window, though it clearly hadn't been flipped in years. Behind the counter sat an old CRT television, turned on but showing nothing but static. The faint white noise filled the entire room, like whispering voices layered over each other. It was hypnotic. Then the TV flickered. For just a second, it showed a face, pale, blurred, eyes wide open. And then it was gone, replaced again by snow. I whispered, "Hello? Sam?" The fluorescent light above me flickered again, once, twice. Then I heard it. Footsteps. Not mine. Slow, dragging steps coming from behind the counter. I leaned forward. "Hey, I just need some help. My car's acting weird," and the footsteps stopped. Then in a low, gravelly voice, someone whispered, "You shouldn't have stopped here." I froze. "Who's there?" The TV crackled louder, almost screaming with static now, and in the glow of the flickering screen, I saw a shadow move, tall, thin, human-shaped. It slid along the wall like smoke. I backed up toward the door, my heartbeat slamming in my ears. "Look, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to." The door behind me slammed shut, hard. The sound was deafening. I yanked at the handle, locked. Somehow, the outside latch was now bolted from the other side. That's when I noticed something written on the floor in front of the counter. Letters carved into the old wooden planks. "Turn off the light." My shaking hands found the switch on the wall. I hesitated, then I flipped it. Darkness swallowed the room. The static vanished, so did the breathing. The silence that followed was thick, pressing against my ears like water. For a moment, I thought I was alone again. Then, a faint red glow filled the room. Not from the TV this time. It was coming from the door to the back room. I walked toward it, each step crunching on broken glass and dirt. The closer I got, the louder something began to hum, low, mechanical, like an engine buried underground. The door had no handle, just a metal plate. I pushed. Inside, the room was small and dimly lit by a single red bulb hanging from the ceiling. There were dozens of old VHS tapes stacked on a table. each labeled with white stickers. 12/14/1989, 1/22/1993, 8/03/2001, all dates, all years apart. And then one tape caught my eye. It was newer, marked with black ink, 11/23/2023, Route 59. My exact date. My exact route. My throat got dry. I picked it up, my fingers trembling. The moment I touched it, the humming sound stopped. Then, from behind me, I heard the static again, louder this time. I turned. The old TV, the one in the front room, was now on again, but it wasn't showing snow anymore. It was showing me, right there, holding the tape in real time. I dropped it and stumbled backward, slamming into the table. The tapes fell everywhere, clattering like bones. And from the static on the screen, a shape began to emerge. At first it looked like smoke, then a figure, then a face, the same pale one I'd seen before, pushing against the glass of the TV, its mouth opening in a silent scream. The red bulb above me flickered violently. The air turned electric. And then a hand, a real human hand, reached out from the TV screen. I screamed and bolted toward the front door. The lights exploded overhead, sparks flying. I kicked the door again and again until the old lock finally snapped. Cold air rushed in as I stumbled outside, gasping. The world outside looked different, darker. The trees seemed closer. The sign above the station still flickered, but now it read something else. Not hollow lights, just one word: follow. I didn't look back, I just ran. Cold air tore through my lungs as I sprinted to the car. My hands shook so hard I dropped the keys twice before jamming them into the ignition. The engine roared to life. Headlights cut across the empty lot, lighting up the gas station. And there, standing in the doorway, was a figure. Tall, thin, head tilted, watching me. I slammed the gear into drive and tore out, gravel flying behind me. The road ahead was endless. No signs, no houses, no cars, just the black tunnel of Route 59. I gripped the wheel, knuckles white. My heart wouldn't slow down. I turned the radio off. It turned itself back on. A low hum crawled through the speakers, then a woman's whisper. "You shouldn't be alone out here." I froze. That voice wasn't coming from the radio. It was coming from the back seat. I slowly looked in the mirror. At first, nothing. Then, movement. A woman sat there, long wet hair clinging to her face, her skin gray, her eyes cloudied white. She wasn't breathing. She wasn't blinking. Then she whispered, barely moving her lips. "You shouldn't have stopped." I screamed, swerving off the road. When I looked again, she was gone. Empty seat. Silence. I pulled over, shaking. Maybe I was losing it. Maybe exhaustion. That had to be it. But then, on the passenger seat, lay the VHS tape. The same one from the gas station. The one I dropped. Its label, 11/23/2023, Route 59, was smeared with red fingerprints. Not mine. I picked it up. Warm. Too warm, like it had just been playing. Then I heard it. The humming again, from the woods this time, deep, mechanical, vibrating the car. The dashboard lights flickered, the engine coughed. No, not now! I hit the gas. Nothing. Headlights dimmed. Dead silence. Then, knock, knock. 2 sharp taps on the window. I turned. face, pressed against the glass. Too close, too pale, skin stretched tight. Its mouth opened and moved, but no sound came out, only fog on the glass. And then it smiled. I turned the key again. The engine roared back to life. When I looked back, the face was gone, just a single handprint on the glass. Long, too many fingers. I drove, fast, didn't care where I was going, didn't care if the road ended. Then, headlights ahead, another car, finally someone else. I flashed my brights, waving for help. The car didn't slow down, didn't move over, and as it passed, I saw no driver, only a passenger, sitting perfectly still, eyes white, the same woman. My throat went dry. I checked the mirror, headlights. The same car was now behind me, getting closer, fast. I hit the accelerator. Tears blurred my vision. The car behind me stayed locked in, headlights burning through the fog. Then, my phone buzzed, screen lit up. Unknown number. Stop running. I threw it aside. What do you want from me? I screamed. The radio answered. To go home. My blood ran cold. That voice, it was mine. The humming grew louder, not from the car, from the VHS tape on the seat beside me. It was vibrating violently now, melting against the leather. From the speakers came one final whisper, low, broken, but clear. You brought it with you. The humming grew louder. The whole car vibrated as I sped through the dark, twisting highway. The melted VHS tape pulsed like it was alive, leaking thick black fluid across the seat. I didn't dare touch it. I just wanted to reach a town, any sign of people. The GPS still glowed, but the map had changed. No roads, no markers, only 2 words on the screen. Follow lights. Then, up ahead, faint dots began to glow through the fog. White at first, then yellow. Streetlights. Finally! I pushed harder on the gas, but the closer I got, the more I realized those weren't streetlights. They were floating, hanging mid-air above the road like fireflies the size of fists. Dozens of them, swinging gently back and forth. And under that glow stood a man, old, wearing a mechanic's jumpsuit, a name patch on his chest, Sam. He lifted one hand and motioned for me to stop. My foot slammed the brake, tires screamed. The car shuddered to a halt just a few feet from him. Sam's face was pale and tired, eyes hollow. He spoke like he'd been waiting all night. You shouldn't have left the station. I shouted through the window, "What the hell is happening to me?" He didn't answer. He just pointed to the passenger seat, at the VHS tape. It's not a recording, it's a doorway. Before I could react, the tape split open. The black film inside unraveled into the air like smoke, spinning, wrapping around the dashboard. My car lights flickered. Then the world around me began to warp. The trees bent backward. The road folded in on itself. And I was no longer on Route 59. I was back inside the gas station. The air smelled of oil and rot. Static buzzed from every corner. Dozens of TVs lined the walls now, each showing different angles of me, driving, screaming, running, every moment from tonight replaying over and over. I turned to run, but Sam was standing in front of the door, eyes black now, voice layered with static. Nobody leaves Route 59. You just drive until it remembers you. He reached toward me, his fingers stretched, longer, sharper, until they touched my chest. And in that instant, every TV in the room flashed white. Then, Silence. When I opened my eyes, it was daylight. My car sat parked outside a different gas station. Modern, clean, people everywhere. Normal life. I stumbled out, shaking, tears running down my face. A woman at the pump looked at me like I was insane. "Sir, you okay?" she asked. I nodded, unable to speak. I checked my phone. Service bars full. Time 7:12 a.m. I'd lost more than 8 hours. The VHS tape was gone. Relief flooded through me. Maybe I dreamed it. Maybe exhaustion, hallucination, anything but real. I filled my tank, got a coffee, tried to convince myself to forget. And I almost did, until I got back in the car. On the passenger seat, a small black cassette tape. No label this time, just one faint word scratched into the plastic. Home. I froze. The gas station's overhead lights flickered once, twice. The humming returned, soft, distant, growing. My phone vibrated with a new text from an unknown number. Route 59 never ends. Then every light in the station shut off at once. For half a second, total darkness. When they came back on, everyone was gone. The pumps, the cars, the woman, empty, silent. Only me, and the glowing sign overhead, its letters rearranged once again. HOLLOWLIGHTS. Hollow lights. The humming turned into whispering voices, hundreds of them. They poured from the speakers, from my phone, from inside my head. Play the tape. I picked it up, hands trembling. The plastic felt warm. A faint heartbeat pulsed inside it. "Play it," the voices repeated. I reached toward the car stereo slot, then stopped. For the first time since it all began, I made a different choice. I opened the car door, stepped out, and hurled the cassette as far as I could into the woods. It vanished into the fog. The humming faded. Silence. For a moment, the world felt still again. Then, the car radio turned on by itself. Static, a click, and my own voice came through the speakers. It started with a detour. I stared at the road ahead. Route 59 stretched forward, endless and empty, waiting. And in the rearview mirror, the woman was sitting in the back seat again, smiling. Ready to go home?